Guys, welcome. Sorry if my quality is a bit bad right now. I haven't got my microphone on my phone, so it ain't plugged up or anything right now because my microphone is upstairs and I'm not in my room right now. I am downstairs. My parents have left. I am sitting on my couch watching TV, and I thought, you know what? Let's turn the TV off for a bit and get my notes out on what I want to talk about and just get my thoughts out of my head of what I was thinking because I just saw a video on YouTube talking about uh, Springtrap sucks from Dead by Daylight. So I was like, you know what? I want to make a video talk about my opinions and what my problems were with this chapter when it first came out and what I didn't like about the chapter for the FNAF chapter. So it's mostly just going to be me talk about what I don't like about the FNAF chapter. So you guys are entitled to your own opinions. You can obviously, like I said in every video, I know it's a very terrible explanation, but if you don't like it, you can leave. You don't have to watch this video. If you want to listen to what I've got to say, please, by all means, grab some popcorn, grab yourself a nice drink, put on a nice, play a video game, and just sit there, listen to me yap while I talk about the disgusting issues of the FNAF chapter. And remember, you're entitled to comment in the comment section below your own opinions. Just keep them very minimum, guys. Don't be toxic. Don't be an asshole. Just don't be a dick, okay? Don't go around, like I said, complaining at people for having an opinion that you don't like. You can disagree with them, you can agree with them. That's why we have these discussions. Just don't be a dick. Don't call people out for being an asshole or being a piece of shit, ungrateful human being just because we don't like something that you like. Just keep it minimum, okay? Without all ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about with the FNAF chapter is the map. The map is absolutely fucking awful. Now, do I hate the map inside the FNAF part? No. I think it's great. But I do think they could have done a lot more with it if the map was actually an indoor map, fully based off of a pizzeria. It doesn't have to be based off of the Freddy Fazbear's pizzas that we know from the games or anything like that. At the end of the day, we are in the entity's realm. So they can have it where the entity can design it off of Afton's liking. Because this is a place where Afton will roam around and do whatever it is. So it could be a place simply inspired by all the pizzerias mixed into one. And I think that, in my opinion, would have been 400 quadruple times better than just grabbing the pizzeria, a small pizzeria nonetheless, and slapping it with no fucking security room, by the way, right in the middle of a fucking Greenville already reused map. Which is not a surprise since they pretty much Greenville is like the most popularist map in the fucking behavior's mind. Just really fucking annoying. It's like they're trying to tell a story that there's a fucking Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in the universe of Dead by Daylight where the same universe as Jason, because someone said that Jason was from Greenville. So what, is Springtrap from Greenville too, because there's a pizzeria in the middle of Greenville, something like that? It's just fucking stupid, man. Like, I don't understand. Why can't behavior just simply make a fucking map? Back then, they would make brand new entities realms. They had the RPD, they gave us the Silent Hill map, they gave us Haddonfield, they gave us so many different maps for these chapters. Nowadays, they just cut corners. They really do just cut corners nowadays, and don't even try to even be original or be creative with their imaginations anymore. And it might not be helping that I guess Scott Cawthon was breathing down their neck, as they say. This chapter was telling them what is perfect, not letting them cook, you know what I mean, with this chapter. So that probably wasn't helping, but my god, either way, this chapter was ridiculously bad. What a fucking embarrassing chapter this was, and this map is no different. This map was fucking horrendous. I'll play it because I do like Five Nights at Freddy's, but this map is nowhere near one of the best maps of all time. Could have been 400 times better if they made it a full map and had a full place, having different animatronics inside of it, than just the first three on the stage. We could have had a Fox seat. We could have had the FNAF 2 animatronics in this one location, like a big warped location, kind of like from Help Wanted with Glitch Trap, and he goes into that weird room at the end of the game and stuff, and you see you first meet Glitch Trap through that little door part. Would have been actually interesting, but nope, didn't want to give us that because of course it's behavior and Scott. And this is coming from the same guy, by the way, that made FNAF Security Breach. So why am I surprised? Anyways, yes, again, that's one thing I hate about the chapter. The other thing I want to quickly talk about, what I do not like about this chapter, is Springtrap's power. Now, I know a lot of people have probably heard this before, but I'm gonna have to agree with them. I'm just gonna have to agree with them. Springtrap's power is boring. It's just range slop. I know a lot of people say it's not range slop, and we should be grateful. All right, Oxdarber fans, I hear you, but my God, I don't want to be paying. I don't want to be having to pay for the same killer that I could. Why would I want to buy? Oh, sorry. Why would I want to buy a killer that pretty much does the same thing as other killers do? Where's the uniqueness of it? You know what I mean? Not just that. His power was so boring and bland. It's just just throwing a hatchet pretty much, but a fire axe this time, and hitting people, and then having the xenomorph ability on it where you can detect him. It's just boring, bro. It's really not that good. You know what I mean? It's just not that good, man. I'm sorry. And I don't know why they have this. It's because of the fan video. People believe it's because of a fan video called "I Hope You Die in a Fire." It was a song from FNAF where William pulls out a fire axe, and it's probably from the concept art where he has a fire axe as a weapon. But it still doesn't change the fact that this doesn't fit William. Just because a fan video has it doesn't mean the real Afton has to use it. That's why I like the pizza cutter knife. I think it's not like it's a unique, different knife, but the knife fits like Afton. It's a pizza cutter cutting pizzas, and it makes sense. It makes sense for William to have a pizza cutter knife as a weapon, since he's the owner of a pizza restaurant a pizza place that has animatronics, like kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, and it makes more sense for him to have a weapon of choosing like that. But a fire axe, I can see why, because some people believe that there'll be a fire axe in the pizza place. But why would you want to have a fire axe in a place where there's kids? Would that be a bit dangerous? But then again, this is Fazbear Entertainment we're talking about, so I wouldn't be surprised. But all I'm saying is, I feel like they could have, and it's just personally, Springtrap's is too much of a cool character to need to have a fucking throwing fire axe as a weapon that allows him to detect where enemies are. That is such not a Springtrap weapon or Springtrap power. You could have, like I said, for an example, I know this isn't a perfectly well thought out idea, but take this as for like a little idea concept that you could done. They could have done like something where you could control the phantoms or something from FNAF 3, because he comes from FNAF 3, Springtrap does, where he's able to control hallucinated phantom versions of the animatronics, the jump scare your screen kind of thing, and then once you've hit P3 terror or something like that, fear, you start having hallucinations, kind of like Doctor kind of way, you know what I mean, or something like that, or you get jump scared by the animatronic sort of are roaming around the map or something as well, kind of like zombies that Nemesis has, and then once they've jump scared you, you get put into a very tier 3 effect of what's it called from the game FNAF 3? Ventilation error. You know what I mean? You get put into ventilation error, and it's urgent. So you have to go to a door where you check the cameras instead of just going for it to teleport to places. You have to go for a door to shut down the ventilation. You know what I mean? So like in FNAF 3, the only way to get rid of the status effect is to go to a door and turn off the ventilation. And you can have it where every time it gets worse and worse, your screen starts to black out. You know what I mean? It starts to darken and black out a lot. So your character's blinking, like in FNAF 3 when the ventilation starts going off, and the lights around your character start to flicker. You know what I mean? Showing that your ventilation effect is kicked in. So you get to see if other people in your survivors are also having ventilation issues, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because there'll be the red stain around. There'll be a red stain around you, kind of like Doctor's power, and it'll start blinking, and you'll hear the blinking, the noises of the ventilation error. It's a concept, obviously, but I think that would be good because it fits the kind of style of FNAF 3 where Springtrap comes from, and it's a better power that he's supernatural. You know what I mean? There's a supernatural corpse inside of a fucking metal suit, and he's able to control in a way the supernatural abilities that the entity could have given him. You know what I mean? The power to control his own creations kind of thing, which is the animatronics, or hell, even given the ability to control the animatronics. That would have been fucking cool, or something like that, kind of like the Knight or something. I don't know, but anything could have been better than just another range killer throwing a fucking hatchet that sticks in your back, and there's the most cringiest jump scare apart from when you play Glitch Trap. It just doesn't feel very, Springtrap, in my opinion. And, yeah, so I'm just not really a very big fan of the whole concept, in my opinion, of Springtrap having a power like that. I feel like it's very washed and wasted potential for such a well-anticipated killer at the time when it came out. So, yeah, the map was terrible. The power, in my opinion, was just terrible. Don't like that. Obviously, the map for me is mid, but it's still a terrible map compared to other better maps out there. Not including RPD, because RPD is terrible, even though I like Resident Evil. Um, yeah, I can't. The other thing, I think most of the other thing I don't like about it as well, it's the audio. Now look, I don't hate the guy who does the voice of William Afton. I don't mind him having voice lines. I like that. I think that's really good. What I don't like for audio wise is the fucking jump scare. The jump scares are fucking awful. Okay, and that includes Into the Mori too. Okay, the audio part, I don't like the jump scare. That is terrible. It's so bad. Like, ugh, it just doesn't sound good, bro. Why couldn't they have imported the FNAF 3 jump scare, the terrifying FNAF 3 one? I think I would have loved the FNAF 3 jump scare to be in, the game when he jump scares people as like a throwback to FNAF 3. And I think that, personally, in my opinion, would have been a better, little bit of fan service that isn't too over the top for the chapter, for fans to enjoy, than just this really bad, awful jump scare audio of the guy who does the voice of Springtrap screaming down the mic. Like, remember, he's a rotten corpse, so his jump scare shouldn't be perfect, you know what I mean? That's another reason why I didn't like the voice actor having, in general, having this kind... I like the Britishness of it, but having this voice of, he's able to speak normally, you know what I mean? He's able to speak like a normal human being. His voice box isn't broken from being crushed by the fucking suit. His lungs ain't crushed. That's why I like some of the fan concepts that I've seen where Springtrap's like, oh, Michael, help me. Kind of something like that, because you can hear he's struggling to breathe because he's stuck inside of a suit. And his body's been slowly kept alive for years and years. That's why I just don't like the audio in general. And that's why I didn't like the audio that they gave it to this guy in the FNAF game, and they gave it in the Dead by Daylight chapter. It just didn't really fit with me. I was like, it just felt really annoying. But even though I am glad they got him back, the guy who did the voice of Springtrap from the FNAF game, to come back and do the voice of Dead by Daylight, I'm happy about that, don't get me wrong. I just think they could have done so much more better with the voicing in this game. For a better person, you know what I mean? And this is not hate towards the guy who does the voice of acting. It's a great throwback. So, yeah. But apart from that, that's one of my main concerns. And this kind of goes for the math. I just want to say, this kind of goes down the cosmetic side of things, which I'll explain more of that. The cosmetic part will also be talked about later. So I'll explain more into that when I talk about the cosmetics. And, some of the stuff I would prefer for the cosmetics in Dead by Daylight, which is the other problem, which I'll talk about later. But, yeah, again, the voice acting, it's great, don't get me wrong, I like the voice acting. I just wish they kind of went down the whole more idea of Springtrap not sounding normal when his fucking body's being crushed to shit by metal parts. I think that, in my opinion, kind of just breaks immersion of what that character kind of is with his voicing. But hey, I'm cool with it, I'm okay with it, it's not that big of a deal. I just would have preferred it if they did something a little bit different than that. But, anyways, the other thing I want to talk about, we're going to move on from there, and I'm now going to talk about later, the cosmetics. Why, I don't hate all the cosmetics. I think the only cosmetic I really, really like out of them, mostly the one I most like most, is the glitch trap. I think that one was really good, the animations, everything, it did that really well. The jump scare was way better, in my opinion, in the cutscenes than what it is in fucking, whatever it is in the game. All the other killer cosmetics have. They're fucking terrible, especially for Springtrap. I think his was really good. I think his is really well done. And by all means, I will say it again, I think this variation, okay, of Springtrap, the Glitch Trap is really well done. I'm just saying, they really did bring Glitch Trap to life with the way he looks, with his shh and all that. And the way he looks, he just looks great. And his glitchiness, I wish his glitchiness was shown more in the game itself, matchmaking, or not in the matchmaking part, but in the actual game itself when playing. Not fully glitching out, but just the glitch particles coming off of him. I think I would have really liked to have seen that more off of that cosmetic, but they did not really do much with that. But I'm still happy. He still has the shh when he's in the jump scare. He still has no voice sound parts that sound effects that fit Glitchtrap really well because he doesn't speak. And in my opinion, yeah, I do like Glitchtrap. I think he's the only really good cosmetic in Dead by Daylight that actually makes me really think nice. But now we're going to talk about the second cosmetic I want to get into that I think is okay. I'm not really a big fan of this variation of him because I'm not really a big FNAF movie fan. I've watched them, but I'm not really a big FNAF version of him. And that is Matthew Lillard's Yellow Rabbit. I'm going to be honest. Not really a big fan of the voice acting. Now, I know this isn't a hate towards Matthew Lillard or anything. I do not hate Matthew Lillard, so, alright, keep your shirts on, guys. Keep your pants on, okay? Yeah, alright, keep your hands, alright, calm. It's okay. It's an opinion. We're people. We can be civilized here. But it's not that I hate Matthew Lillard. It's not that I hate his voice acting either. I just really would have preferred it if he kept the mask on. It's just for me, it's that one scene in the jump scare when you have that skid on where he just goes, "Oh!" at you, and it's like, bro, how is that supposed to be scary, man? Like, this is supposed to be scary. Who the fuck thought this was a scary idea? And that's kind of the reason why I was kind of like, this is why they should have made it where your character, like, this is why I think, in my opinion, for the Laughing Dead, they should have got Matthew Lillard to do the voice, yes. They should have got him to do the voice. But they should have had it where you have an option to put the mask on or off. So when you make a unique, a really, really super expensive, unique variation of, or if not, just keep the mask on. But you have a variation of, you know, the character where he has the mask on. And when he has the mask on, which I think he looks more terrifying in the mask more than he is without it on. It looks stupid. I think it would have been cool because in that part when he has the mask on, you'd be able to hear the robotic voice changer he has on, like in the first movie when he had it on. And I think that would have been much more better in my opinion for the character itself and how more scary it would have been, like having his glowy eyes in the background glowing up while chasing you, like Springtrap does, would have been really fucking cool. I think I would have liked that more than what we did get. Now, this isn't me just trying to hate for the simple reason of hating. I'm being honest. I just think I just preferred, honestly, in my opinion, when Matthew had the mask on, when he had the mask off, because you can really kind of, like, tell he's still psychotic and crazy, but he just sounded more terrifying, and I think his jump scare would have sounded kind of like, you know, like Iron Man scene when he goes the ah at all the people with the Iron Man voice on. I think it would have been like more like that from the Iron Man 2 movie or something like that, but with Matthew Lillard when he does the jump scare, and you know when he screams down the mic to make that audio of him jump scaring people when he grabs the axe out of them. I think I just would have preferred, honestly, that in my opinion, than his mask being on. Or sorry, not mask being on. Mask being off. But either way, I can't change what has happened. It's what it is. It's still a good cosmetic if you like FNAF 1. No, the FNAF 1 movie. And if you like FNAF in general, the movie. Even though me personally, I'm not really a big fan of them. I've watched them. I think I just prefer the game universe more. It's complex, yeah, but it makes more. It still has better variations of these characters, and I still think I just prefer that in general. So yes, and then I guess after those two cosmetics, we get the blighted Springtrap, which I guess is okay. I mean, it's just blighted Springtrap. After that, you get just the clown Springtrap, and I just from special delivery, and you know I'm just not gonna like these because I don't like special delivery. I think that was a waste of Scott Cawthon's time to even make a game like that. So yes, I don't like it. I don't like the clown idea for a Springtrap. Why would you want to make a clown variation of a fucking bunny? That doesn't make any sense in my opinion. And yeah, the remnant looking version of him, which is obviously from Special Delivery, is okay. I guess it's unique and cool, but it's still not a good design for Springtrap. I think I would have much preferred just a different character in general than Springtrap, like Vanny or something like that as a skin. Or a Vanny skin for, like, Legion or something like that. Than, like, what we got or something. I don't know. It just doesn't really fit the whole idea of, this is cool, man. Like, I didn't really feel that very interested by the skin. It was just there. But it's cool, I guess. I think the least one is just mostly the clown skin. I think that's just really stupid in my opinion. But yeah, I think apart from that, I think the only skin that's worth buying if you like this chapter is Glitch Trap. I think yeah, just Glitch Trap. No, yeah, Glitch Trap, just Glitch Trap or Matthew Leonard. Just buy those two. They're the only really good ones in the game. But yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, obviously moving on from the cosmetic part, because obviously is the Mori. The Mori. I'm gonna be honest. This Mori sucks. I fucking hate this Mori. It kind of reminds me of how much I hated Jason's Mori from the new Jason chapter because of like how bad it was at the start with the canister not loading in from when he kicks it. Not just that, I feel like it's just stupid that he just randomly kicks over a fucking canister. You know what I mean? And just sets him on fire randomly just there. Like the entity just gives him a canister to kill him. It just feels really fucking stupid in my opinion. But this is why I like Karnaki. And not just that, I feel like the gore of it is really overused in like the Jason chapter. I think Karnaki's was really better with the skin being ripped open from the stomach when he does the Mori and guts them open, and you see that, and without the guts just pulling through the model of the survivor that he does it, the actual guts have, so you see the skin where it's slashed, he's been slashed open, you know what I mean, by Karnaki. I just think Karnaki's was better. But if we aren't talking about Karnaki or Jason, we're talking about Springtrap. Springtrap's is just boring because, in my opinion, all he does is stabs and puts you to the ground, stabs a knife through your chest, and then shoves you into a fucking suit. And it's not even a suit, it's an endoskeleton. Like, what? There's not even any gore. It's just bits of gore coming from the back where the blade gets shoved into the back of the guy's body when he gets put into the endoskeleton. It's so ass. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And the whole point of, you know, the FNAF games is that they put you inside of the suits. So the suits that have the endoskeletons inside them. Like in the FNAF movie with Matthew, when Josh Hutcherson was trapped to the fucking chair or something like that. And the face came down. You know what I mean? The face came down or something like that, and then, you know what I mean? And it had the blades inside. I think I would have preferred it if Springtrap just, you know, instead of just doing that, grabbed a Freddy head, and slammed it on the guy's head. And then the eyes pop out of the mask from the front, like the idea, and the teeth and all that. Just face gets mingled to shit, and then he just dies with the Freddy head on his head. I think that would have been, in my opinion, better if that was what we was given than what we did have, in my opinion. I don't know, man. The Mori just kind of sucked. A lot of people were just very, like, overexcited and overglazing this Mori, saying this is a fucking terrifying Mori. Like, what the fuck do you mean, bro? He just shoves a guy inside of the fucking suit. He just shoves you into the fucking endoskeleton with a bunch of fan blades on it, and you just get cut to pieces. It's fucking shit. There's way more gruesomer and violent Moris out there. This Mori was so bad. People are just so delusional and so manipulated by the idea of Springtrap and mesmerized by Springtrap just being in the game. And it was like, ugh, what the fuck is this, bro? So yeah, Mori sucked. I don't know, overhyped, ridiculous. And it took way too long as well. The other thing I want to say, what was the other thing? Well, it did take too long. It was just a bit, I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think Karnaki's was a bit more longer than that. And I think Trickster's Mina's one was even fucking longer, if I'm honest. But yeah, Mori just wasn't good. Didn't like the Mori, personally. Would have preferred it if he had an animatronic suit stuffed on his head, or an animatronic fan blade suit, and his eyes popped out the head and blood started spewing down the fucking character's like neck, or where you could see just where the guy's face has been mingled from there, you know, a bit more gruesomer than that. But no, they didn't want to do that, so yeah, we got left with a slop Mori. I think that's really it. Actually, no, I think the last thing that I have a problem with mostly with this chapter, and why I think this chapter is very wasted, well, obviously, one facts that there was no survivor, even though they literally could have had Vanessa from the movie, because they had Matt Flynn in the game, and Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt. I think that would have been really fucking good to have had them in the game, or have Abby in the game or something as her older self, or whatever the fuck they wanted, or, you know, because they can't do they couldn't have given us, you know, the movie, sorry, not the movie, they couldn't have given us, you know, the versions from the game, because there's no, like, real such model that exists of how they actually look. It's just, but we have the movie to go off of, and I think the movie would have been better just having a survivor like Josh Hutcherson, like Schmidt, or something like that, or Vanessa would have been really cool. But no, we didn't get that, you know, we didn't get any of that, so they said that was pretty much a big fuck you from Scott. and swimming behaviour, I guess. But apart from that, I think the last thing I don't like is the cosmetics. The cosmetics for survivors. That's more or less. Most anticipated chapter. Alright? You could have given us what? Security guard uniforms. You could have given us a fucking Bonnie ears for some survivors to wear. Freddy top hat and ears. A Chica bib which says "Let's Eat" on it. T-shirt. You could have given us fucking so many different options for cosmetics for survivors to wear. You could have even given survivors a Freddy head to wear or Freddy mask to have on their face. What did we get? Fucking blue t-shirts with a fucking Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria logo slapped on the front of it. That's it. For what? Fucking 250 fucking or excels. You're telling me most anticipated chapter before Jason, and you gave the survivors fucking hardly anything to have for this chapter. So killers get all the love, all the joy, all the fucking cosmetics, everything. But if you're a FNAF fan and you're a survivor main, you get fucking nothing. You get fucking nothing, bro. This really pissed me off. Because I play a lot of Survivor sometimes, and you know what I mean? I like Killer more, but I like playing Survivor too sometimes. And the fact that FNAF fans don't even get to have a single fucking decently good thing as, you know, something for this chapter, it really disappointed me. It really disappointed me. It was like, wow, okay, so you just pretty much took a complete shit on all the Survivor mains out there that for this chapter and said fuck you to them and gave them FNAF t-shirts. Like, what? What? You had so much to work off of. You could have given us a Freddy mask, a Foxy mask, a Chica mask, a Bonnie mask. You could have given us people a Golden Freddy mask, or a Golden Freddy t-shirt, or a FNAF t-shirt. Like, that don't just have Freddy Fazbear's Pizza's logo slapped on it. Like, they're made off of fucking Amazon, or from Wish, or Temu. You can't even see the logo properly on it that much. On, like, the Iron... But we have Iron Maiden shirts. We have all these other shirts, but the FNAF one just looks like that. What a crap pile of shit, bro. I was so pissed when I saw this, because I was like, bro, this is embarrassing. FNAF, this must be really upsetting for Survivor mains that are FNAF fans, man. This must be like the biggest fuck you in history to the fans. From Behaviour and Scott, bro. Like, this felt so embarrassing, bro. I was so disappointed when I saw it. I was like, this is... What is this, bro? This is just terrible. We could have had security guard uniform. For the FNAF security guard uniform. For survivors. We could have had, like I said, we could have had even more than that. We could have had tails. Like, furry tails, you know what I mean? Like, Foxy tails, or Bonnie tails, or, you know what I mean? We could have had a fucking... People could have, like, recreated, so, like, survivors cosplaying as these characters. Because there are cosplays out there that people wear, like, little silly, like, really low-budget cosplays for the people dressing up as the animatronics. And I think that would have been really cool. You know what I mean? And yet, we didn't get that. We could have had a puppet mask. A marionette mask. Or marionette outfit for, like, Feng Min or something. No, they gave us fucking jack shit, bro. Fucking awful. I think people would have really loved a Sable, a FNAF security guard uniform, like Freddy Fazbear's Pizza security uniform for Sable or something like that, or a Michaela. You know what I mean? But no, we got absolutely shitted on. Us Survivor players, we got shitted on with this chapter. So yeah, this chapter fucking hates... This chapter hated us, bro. This chapter hated survivors, bro. So yeah, the survivors got the shit, bro. And yes, I have heard that they are going to bring another chapter out for Dead by Daylight with the FNAF chapter 2. And I'm happy for them, but they got to lock the fuck in, you know what I mean? They have to lock the fuck in. Otherwise, I don't think people are going to be too interested in the FNAF chapters if they don't lock the fuck in, bro. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say, really. That's all I wanted to kind of say. I mean, I don't really know what else I have to really say. I think that's really it. Sorry if this video was like 30 minutes of me ranting about what I don't like about this fucking... The FNAF chapter and Springtrap as a killer and stuff. I do apologise if it would upset anybody here. This wasn't my intention. That is really all the complaints I have. So the power I'm not really a big too fan of. The map I'm not really a big too fan of. The cosmetics for Springtrap aren't that very good apart from the legendaries. The audio isn't that very good for certain cosmetics for Springtrap. I think they're fucking overdone and could have done better. So I'm just going over what I have. What else? The cosmetics for survivors and the no survivor is fucking terrible, and the Mori was terrible for the Springtrap. So I just think this chapter was very, very wasted potential and was very overrated. Very overrated. Compared to what we could have had, it's just... You know what I mean? It's just waste. It's a waste, man. It's a waste. It's a waste of talent. A waste of potential. But let's just hope when Chapter 2 comes out, Behaviour locks the fuck in and gives us some more good content for Springtrap, Survivors, maybe fix the map. Maybe fix the fucking map. Give us an actual FNAF map that doesn't completely suck. So yeah, that's all I want to say. That's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you feel. But just don't be toxic, guys. Don't be a dick. Keep it minimum. Don't be trash talking me in the comment section. Just be cool. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.